Welcome back to another Professional Picks college basketball video. We'll be previewing the Jimmy V Classic today. These games are going to be on Tuesday, December 5th. Got two ranked games. Should be a great event at MSG. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Check us out at Profit of Picks on Twitter too. We've hit our last three bets now. We'll end up posting our official takes for these games once the lines are out as well. But let's get right into the preview. First game we're looking at number 13 FAU going up against number 24 Illinois. As I mentioned, these spreads aren't out yet. This is just my guess for the moment. Both these teams are coming to this game with one loss on the season. Ken Pom has FAU at number 15 and Illinois at number 18. So expect a very close fight in this game. The ESPN predictor is actually giving Illinois a 60% chance to win this game, which I was a little bit surprised to see. It is a neutral site in Madison Square Garden, New York. But that along with the Ken Pom ratings here, given the neutral site, is how I decided on FAU minus 1.5. I do think they should still be the favorites in this one, although I'm seeing a lot of love for Illinois early. Illinois has a top 10 defense. FAU has a top 10 offense. So going to see a little bit clash of play styles, but nonetheless, these teams are both very balanced all around. This game reminds me a little bit of when Marquette beat Illinois a couple weeks ago. Just FAU and Marquette, more perimeter-oriented teams, a little bit undersized. Both have like stretch fours, smaller guards. But definitely more on the athletic side. Everybody could kind of handle the ball, run the break. So on paper, don't match up too well with Illinois, but Marquette definitely used that athleticism to their advantage. They got to the line in that game. I can kind of see a similar game plan from FAU, especially just having that film so recently now, because as we mentioned, they are giving up that size. Illinois at the moment is number 2 in the country on the glass. They're averaging over 11 more rebounds per game than Florida Atlantic. So when I saw that, that was a huge indication for me to lean towards Illinois. Just a really in-your-face stat. But Marquette, on the other hand, they average even less rebounds per game than Florida Atlantic, and they only got out-rebounded by 2 in that win on the road. So I'm not extremely concerned about it. For example, Illinois just grabbed 55 rebounds against Rutgers yesterday in a win where Rutgers just could never get it going. Illinois won that rebound battle 55-27, but this Florida Atlantic team is much better than Rutgers and pretty much better than anybody that Illinois has played yet so far this season. I'm putting Coleman Hawkins as the X factor here because he's supposed to be that senior leader along with Terrence Shannon Jr., but he's shooting a career worst percentage from the field, scoring half as many points as he did last year. So I just really need him to step up. He almost went in the draft last year, so only putting up 5 points per game on 6 boards is just really disappointing because Terrence Shannon, he's been playing amazing, putting up over 20 a game, or right around there at the moment. Just expected to see a little bit more from Coleman Hawkins, just being another one of those senior leaders and the longest tenured player at Illinois at the moment. Elijah Martin, on the other hand, I have him as an X factor for Florida Atlantic. Could have chosen a handful of guys, but between Vlad, John L. Davis, and him, they kind of seem to make up that big three. Janelle has a little bit more skill in his offensive game, but it's really hard to match what Elijah Martin does athletically, both in transition offense, catching lobs, running the break, and then even defensively. Not the tallest player, but because of strength and athleticism, he could guard pretty much anyone on the perimeter. So definitely a key player heading into this one. But like I've said, Terrence Shannon, he's been great, really the heart and soul of this Illinois team so far, but not a single other Illinois player has been reliable in putting up points. It's really their only true test against Marquette. They lost that one, and he was one of 3 guys able to put up double figures in that game. He had a third of the team's points in the loss to Marquette, and I'm just really afraid of something like that happening again here. I like that Brad Underwood went out of his way to try to build an identity for this team. Yes, a lot of taller players. I think everybody starting is 6'6" and above, but you don't have that true playmaker point guard who's going to run the offense. Terrence Shannon's kind of running that spot, but he's still more of a scorer. Ty Rodgers isn't putting up a ton of points. Great defender, fits right in, but Domask, he's been a good pickup, shooting well, but that front court is just really lacking between Quincy Guerrier, Coleman Hawkins. Just need to see more points from them. Because of that, I like FAU in this game. I know between Vlad, John L. Davis, Elijah Martin, any of them could give me 20 points on any night. Illinois, I'm going to have to use their size to win this game, but I haven't trusted or seen that from their posts yet. Coleman should be a good matchup, but I could even see him getting outplayed by Vlad. Just too many reasons pointing towards FAU for me in this one, even with the size disadvantage. I like them in this one. Stay tuned for the official pick. But our next game, we have 17 Carolina versus number 4 UConn. Both these teams are coming in at 7-1. North Carolina does look back early in the season, coming off an impressive win down by double digits at home against FAU, and also have big wins against Tennessee, Arkansas, 2 ranked teams that definitely expect to see in the tournament. UConn lost to Fog Allen, as we predicted in our last video, but they even looked really good, in my opinion, without Stephon Castle, who should be back for this game. Cam Spencer was fighting a tweaked ankle too, and they went all the way down to the wire with KU. Even picked up a lead late there in the second half before giving it back away, but this was a slightly undermanned team, and they still came to play in a tough environment. They didn't get those 50-50 calls as we expected, and that's why we went with Kansas, but they looked really good even in that loss, in my opinion. Regionally, this game is closer to UConn's backyard, being Madison Square Garden, New York, so I'm giving them a slight home field advantage. Ken Palm has them at number 4 even after the loss, and they have UConn sitting at number 12 now. You expect to see jump a little bit in the rankings once the AP poll does come out this upcoming week. Both these teams, top 5 offenses according to Ken Palm, so you should see a ton of points scored. RJ Davis, X factor there, I have for North Carolina, but he's been absolutely phenomenal. He's scored more than 23 points in each of the last 4 games, all big matchups too, but he's going to need to stay right on that caliber level of play for them to win or even be in this game. The big issue, and this one was a little bit easier for me to read or just kind of make up my mind on, is that Armando Bacot, second option for North Carolina, often a lot of times the first option, but he's going to be giving up a lot of length to Donovan Clingan in the post, who's just probably one of the best post defenders in all of college basketball, even in just his sophomore year. We saw it on Friday too. Dickinson, he was just held to 6 points inside the arc on Clingan. He only put up 15 points in that game, which is still a solid line, but he had to step outside the arc and hit some threes to be effective. He hit 3 threes, and that's how he scored the majority of his points. But Armando Bacot does not have that in his game. Can't step outside and hit threes like Hunter Dickinson can. He's made only 1 on 3 attempts this season, and in some of the previous years hasn't even made a 3. So Donovan Clingan's almost going to erase or really neutralize one of North Carolina's main options in this game. You're going to need RJ Davis to put up another 25-point game like he has. But even then, you're going to need the role players for North Carolina to step up. And I just think UConn at this point has a deeper bench with or without Stephon Castle. You're going to really need Harrison Ingram to play a big game going up against Alex Caravan. And he can, but I'm not going to bet on that. I like Tristan Newton up against RJ Davis. I mean, we saw it in this last game. Tristan Newton was electric for UConn, kept them in that game. But you could see Donovan Clingan even scoring a little bit more here. Armando Bacot's a great player, but he's just not as tall, not as long as Hunter Dickinson and Clingan. So I think Clingan's going to put up a few more points than he did even against Kansas. Cam Spencer should hopefully be a little more healthy, but UConn's just got several options, pretty similar to my reason for taking Florida Atlantic in this game, because North Carolina just relies too heavily on a main guy like Illinois. So I like UConn in this game. I have them at -4.5. I would take that line. Could see it being even 5.5 or more, but stay tuned for the official pick. Let me know what you guys are taking in the comments. But that's it for this video. Thank you everyone for watching, and good luck this week.